In 1970, a simple Raggedy Ann doll became the center of one of the most terrifying hauntings in modern history. It didn't just sit on a shelf, it moved, it wrote messages in what looked like blood-red scrawl, and some say it even attacked. This is the true story of the Annabelle doll, a case so chilling it inspired the Conjuring universe. Welcome to the channel, where we uncover the horrors that blur the line between reality and nightmare. If you dare, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into the darkness. But a word of warning, don't mess with this doll. Let's get started. It all began in Hartford, Connecticut, with a young nurse named Donna. In 1970, for her 28th birthday, her mother gifted her a Raggedy Ann doll, charming, floppy toy with red yarn hair and a stitched smile. Donna, who shared an apartment with her roommate Angie, placed it on her bed as a decoration. At first, it was just a nostalgic keepsake. But soon, the doll started to move. It was small things at first. Donna would leave for work with the doll on her bed, only to come home and find it sitting on the couch, its arms crossed. Angie noticed it too. Sometimes the doll's head would be tilted, or it would be in a completely different room, as if someone had carried it there. They tried to laugh it off, maybe they were just misremembering, or perhaps a prankster roommate was to blame. But then, the movements got bolder. One night, Donna found the doll kneeling on a chair in an impossible pose for a rag doll with no joints. Then, scraps of parchment paper, which neither woman owned, started appearing with scrawled messages in what looked like red crayon. The words read, "Help us, and help Lou." Lou was a friend of theirs, who often visited, and had openly mocked the doll's weird behavior. And that's when things turned violent. Lou, being skeptical and a bit brash, told the doll to prove it's real. Later that night, he woke up paralyzed, unable to scream, as a heavy weight pressed down on his chest. He swore the doll was on top of him, its stitched face just inches from his own. When he was finally able to move, he found claw-like scratches on his torso deep, bleeding gashes with no logical explanation. Terrified, Donna and Angie contacted a medium. The medium claimed a spirit named Annabelle Higgins, a 7-year-old girl who had died on the property, was attached to the doll. This is when Ed and Lorraine Warren, the renowned paranormal investigators, entered the picture. They were called in when the activity escalated beyond a friendly ghost. The Warrens, whose work would later inspire The Conjuring, didn't buy the little girl's story. After their investigation, they concluded the entity wasn't a child's spirit at all, but a demonic force manipulating the doll to eventually gain a human host. The doll wasn't possessed. They said it was a conduit for something far, far darker. The Warrens arranged for a blessing of the apartment, but the entity fought back. Objects reportedly flew across the room, doors slammed shut, and the doll allegedly levitated a few inches off the ground during the ritual. Convinced it was too dangerous to leave behind, the Warrens decided to take Annabelle with them. They locked her in a specially blessed glass case inside their occult museum in Monroe, Connecticut. But even the drive home was an ordeal. They claimed their brakes failed mysteriously, nearly causing a catastrophic crash. Today, the real Annabelle doll sits in that glass case, surrounded by crosses and a stark warning, positively do not open. But even contained, the haunting didn't completely stop. Visitors to the museum have reported feeling nauseous or an intense sense of dread near her. Some claim to have heard whispers or captured EVP's electronic voice, phenomena voices saying, "I see you," or "Get out." In one particularly chilling incident, a skeptic taunted the doll, banging on the glass. He reportedly died in a motorcycle accident, just hours after leaving the museum. Coincidence? The Warrens didn't think so. Annabelle's story eventually exploded into pop culture, inspiring The Conjuring and its many spin-offs. But unlike the movie's creepy porcelain doll, the real Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann which, in some ways, makes it even creepier. Its innocent appearance hides a truly sinister energy. Before their passing, the Warrens consistently warned that taunting Annabelle invites real danger. They claimed it is one of the most powerful and malevolent objects in their entire collection. But is Annabelle's case unique? Haunted objects aren't exactly a new phenomenon. In Key West, a doll named Robert has allegedly moved and cursed its owners since 1918. In Japan, the Okiku doll's hair reportedly continues to grow. What makes the Annabelle story stand out is the sheer amount of documentation from the Warrens, including photos, witness statements, and their own detailed accounts. Of course, skeptics argue it's all a case of hysteria, amplified by the Warrens' flair for publicity. But believers countered that the physical scratches, the EVPs, and the strange accidents are too consistent to be dismissed. So, what's the real truth behind Annabelle? A demonic trickster playing a long game, a case of mass fear feeding on itself, or a cleverly constructed hoax? One thing seems certain, you probably shouldn't try summoning her at home. No Ouija boards, no tonsillets, leave that to the professionals. If you've ever visited the occult museum or had your own encounter with a haunted object, Drop your story in the comments. We're dying to hear it. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the Annabelle doll haunting. If this gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for more true horror stories. Stay safe, and maybe check on your dolls tonight.